Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison Barnes, and today there are three writing tips that I want to share with you that will help you figure out what to do with scenes that you've laid out on the cutting floor and pulled from your novel or your short story or whatever and thrown into a notebook or a junk journal. So, okay. And I've just started doing this myself. I'm going to go through the tips, list them all one by one first, and then I want to go into greater detail. Okay, so number one, go through all of your dump scenes. Let's say you have a junk journal, that's what I use. Go through all your dump scenes that you have, group them together in order according to character development, like if so many scenes. For example, you got like 4 or 5 scenes that are grouped under one character's POV, or you have scenes, and this could be nonfiction too, I'm sure, but if you have scenes based on plot development or informational pieces that don't necessarily fit in a book, but you can group them together for another piece, do that first, okay? That's what I want you to do, because then you can, it'll help you repurpose the things later. And I said I was going to list them. So number one is group your dump scenes together. Number two, take each group of dump scenes that fit together and put them in a separate document. Number three, rewrite the document so that your scenes can turn into a piece that is ready for publication. Okay, I've already explained number one. So number two, put your group scenes in a separate document. For example, in A Journey of Faith, I have several scenes that took place with my side character, Shelley Marcus, who is Becca's ally. So in doing so, I grouped those together first. Then I copied and pasted them over to a document called Shelley's Story. I'm not going to tell you what those scenes are, and I even added a scene to it. They may not fit together right now, but when I go to rewrite it after I get A Journey of Faith updated and published, then I can publish it as a short story or a novella to help promote the series as a companion to the series. This is great when you're publishing series too, but I'm sure you could do the same thing. Like if you have a nonfiction book and you've got several paragraphs and chapters and things that don't fit in the book itself. Now, if anybody out there watching and listening would like to comment on this or add tips and suggestions, you can always contact me via email or on my website or through social media. Or if you're listening to the podcast, you can leave me a voicemail on the podcast with your tips, and I can certainly add them to the episodes later on to kind of help bring it forward. But what you can do with those pieces that don't fit in your book, you could turn them into blog posts. You could probably turn them into magazine articles. You know, your possibilities are endless. Never delete any dump scenes. Now, I say that. I say that to say this. I say never delete old scenes, dump scenes. Well, never say never, because I accidentally deleted an entire chapter that had other characters that, honestly, it was in either Jennifer or Lydia's point of view from my book. I was going to save it and put it somewhere, but apparently that was a God thing, because apparently I didn't absolutely need the scene. So therefore, I ended up accidentally deleting it instead of putting it on the cutting room floor and throwing it in the junk journal. But you know what happens. Don't worry, it happens. I actually found it quite laughable because, I just realized, God was telling me I didn't need it. So, I just move on about it. But if that happens, don't stress over it. Don't stress over it. Just keep going. Just say, okay, thank you, Lord. I didn't need it anyway. And just keep moving right along, because you're not going to be able to get that back. All right, anyway, so that is what I would suggest in number two. Number one, and number two, putting your scenes, group scenes in documents. Number three, once you get your main novel, story, or whatever kind of book you're writing finished, once you get that done and published and start promoting it, then you go back and look at the documents where you've dumped groups of scenes together and start rewriting them and putting them together into publishable pieces that would be published as single titles for your series. Or if they're only short stories, you can put together a collection of stories to accompany the series that you're working on. So those are some suggestions for you for scenes that you've laid out on the cutting room floor and tossed into a scene dump file or a junk journal. Those are my suggestions. Happy writing, stay safe and shelter in place, and may God richly bless you. I will talk to you later on when I do my mini writing prompt episode. So you guys have a blessed one and take care. Bye-bye.